hey, what are you thinking about today? What are you working on? What are you focused on? And all that good stuff. I am going to hang out here for about half an hour, and I'm going to ramble. I'm going to tell you guys about what I did last night and what it meant to me and all that good stuff. But the other thing is, what's up, Russ? Good morning. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to open myself up for questions, Q&A, that kind of thing. What's up, Deborah and Tarhi? Penny, good morning. The reason I'm here today, what's up, Scott? The reason I'm here today is to hang out. The reason I'm here today is I'm going to spend about 20 or 30 minutes. I've got a mastermind coming up in a few minutes I need to prepare for. But right now, I just want to kind of hang out. I want to answer your questions. I broadcast a lot through this method or this means or this channel, Facebook Lives. And I'm talking about getting it done. And I'm talking about the 3 habits a lot. I want to sit here. Ken Stoddard, what's up, Ken? Long time. Michael Hopkins, what's up? Hope you guys are out there. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some likes. Give me some waves. Hit that share button. That's valuable. That's important. I'm going to hang out here and open this up for you guys. Today we woke up. It's kind of hilarious. Tara said we didn't expect it. It was supposed to be a light snow, a light little bit of dusting here in Salt Lake City, overnight, and it was supposed to get some good snow in the mountains. Woke up to about a foot of snow on the ground here in Salt Lake City. It's pretty crazy. It's beautiful though. It's so beautiful. It changes everything, man. The energy of the whole place instantly changed. But the other thing that we did that was exciting was last night we went to the opening night of the Sundance Film Festival. That was pretty interesting. I'm not that excited about it. Going to be honest with you. I wasn't. Let's put it that way. Ooh, thanks for the heads up. Thanks for the thumbs. Everybody throw some hearts, throw some love. So we went to the Sundance Film Festival. I wasn't that crazy about it. Tara is looking to start working with people from Hollywood. Let me rephrase that. Tara is working with people from Hollywood, actors, former actors, producers, managers, that kind of thing. We could talk about Tara if you'd like to, and I can share what she's working on. Looking for questions and things like that. But so last night we went to the Sundance Film Festival, and there's there's 2 movies that I was really interested in seeing if we, tried to see them. And it's interesting because the interesting part is it's a film festival, not for consumers. This is not like going to the movies. The film festival is for the business. It's like a like a Tupperware convention, but for movies. I don't know what else to say, or like a personal development convention for the people providing personal development. It was interesting, which basically that means that it's a pain in the neck to navigate the ecosystem, to get tickets, to go to these theaters. They're scattered all over the place. I mean, it started in the Sundance Mountain, in the Sundance ski resort, right? Robert Redford's the Sundance Film Festival. It started there, and it was in Park City a little bit, and then it's grown. It's 40 years old now, I guess. It grew, and now basically Park City is just completely overrun now, and Sundance is completely overrun when this goes on. And so now they're bringing the venues, and they're bringing movies, and they're bringing events down into Salt Lake City. So this thing's spread out over 50 or 60 miles of the Utah landscape. But the good news is that makes it more accessible for us. So Tara, I shouldn't say we, I should say Tara navigated the ecosystem and found out these 2 movies. So one of the movies is Robin Williams. It's like Inside My Mind or something like that. It's a documentary about Robin Williams. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I hope I get to see that. The other one was a documentary that I was interested in, was a documentary about Mr. Rogers. Wow. That's pretty much all I've got to say. It was quite a moving and impactful documentary, to say the least. The filmmakers did a really good job. It was a really good movie. It was very engaging. It was very captivating. And here's the thing, man. If you're anything like me, you forgot. That dude was deep. It was. I love the way the movie started. The first few opening scenes, it showed episode 1. It showed the footage. It showed some of the footage from episode 1 of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and the circle was made complete. It was amazing because in that episode, he was actually talking about, and I didn't realize how deep he was. I mean, he's sitting there talking to kids, but he was really deep. Like, he's talking about the Korean War and what war means, and he's trying to help kids relate to the big world, the parents, as they talk about war and their fear and their anxieties around everything from money to, the war. And it was very exciting. It was very interesting. Do you guys remember King Friday the 13th? He was one of the puppets, right? And so it showed the scene from him, and King Friday the 13th, he was pissed on that first episode. He was upset. He was scared. He was scared about change. He was so scared about change that he built a fence around his castle. He literally built a wall. Like, they had a wall up. It was hilarious. It was so poignant with what's going on with today's political situation in the world and all that stuff. It was a very timely movie. I highly recommend you watch it the first chance you get. The documentary called Won't You Be My Neighbor? So that was eliminating it. The other thing that was amazing about it was Mr. Rogers was a badass. That boy had some heart, and he put himself out there. It was amazing. It was motivating. It was inspiring. And I realized, you know what? I'm not being out there enough. I'm not being true. I'm trying to come around the side with some people, and I'm trying to say things like, we can help you make more money. I can help you get it done. But I'm going to be real today, I guess. I'm going to sit here and sip my coffee, which, yes, switch back to coffee for those of you that know what I'm talking about there. But it's yummy. The realness, I guess, is what I've realized in the last few weeks, last few months, last few years, is I've always hated being in the system. I've always not been comfortable being in a system. Again, hey, I want to welcome anybody that's joining and popping on real quick. Do me a favor. Throw me some thumbs up. Throw me some hearts. Let me know you're out there. If you have any questions, throw them down. I'm here to help people get it done. We can talk about the 3 habits. We can talk about why they're so important. But I just kind of want to be here for you guys. Mr. Robinson. Yeah, they actually showed some of that last night in that movie. There's some clips of Eddie Murphy, and Mr. Rogers actually met Eddie Murphy after he had done those things. It was pretty cool. What's up, Stratos? Stratos. I love how you say the R's, man. Throw me some hearts, throw me some thumbs up and all that stuff. So let me get back to what we were talking about. I want to kind of open up and let you know why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm so adamant about this get it done stuff. I mean, you may have heard me talk about motorcycle riders and survival reactions and how important learning how to control your reactions are so that we're not reacting. For example, on a motorcycle, hey, what's up, Bob? Fairborn, it's good to see you. Hearts and thumbs, man. Throw me some love and all that good stuff, and hit the share button if you could. So one of the reasons this is so important to me, this get it done concept and learning how to think, not react. And this is misleading, by the way. The reason that's so important to me, one of the reasons, is because I learned on a motorcycle that something as small as a flick of the wrist at the wrong time could kill somebody. And so, oh, Susie, it's okay. So the reaction could literally kill you. So that became really important. It became really, really vital for me to start helping other motorcycle riders learn how to operate in this place down here instead of up here. Now, what am I talking about here? I have this thing where I talk about this is like a limit. And I'm going to use a motorcycle because it's very easy and it's very common and it's very understandable to me and it's very easy to understand. This is your survival reaction threshold. On a given day, you're riding down the road. It's a beautiful sunny day. You check the air pressure in your tires. They're perfect. You've got a full tank of gas. You had plenty of food. You've had plenty of water. You slept really good last night. Everything's perfect. So your survival reaction threshold's up here somewhere. What if it was cloudy and a little rainy? Like it was misting. On a motorcycle, that's a big deal. That affects traction, huge. So instantly, your survival reaction threshold drops. Well, add to that, let's say you had a bad night's sleep, or let's say you had a bad breakfast, or let's say you haven't drank enough water, so you're dehydrated. Well, that's going to cause your survival reaction threshold to drop even lower. And then we can get into like really nitty gritty specifics. Like if you're driving down the road and you go from a wide open straight road into a twisty compartmentalized little mountain uphill or downhill road, you know, the road conditions can change, and that can affect your, or you could be listening to music. If you're listening to music, so if you're not listening to music, but if you're listening to music, your reaction threshold lowers because your brain is distracted by that music. Then let's talk about the music. Let's say you're listening to some songs and it's on shuffle, and you're listening to your favorite song. And then you listen to another song that reminds you of your ex-girlfriend that just dumped you last week. Now your mind is on that instead of the road. So my point is, as we go through life, as we go through our day, hell, as we go through this 10-minute, 20-minute Facebook Live, your survival reaction threshold, your reaction threshold is constantly changing. So it becomes really important for a motorcycle rider. It becomes like life and death for a motorcycle rider to be aware of this so that they can maintain their operating level. So the speed they're going, how hard they're riding, how fast, how aggressive, they can maintain that and move that around with that threshold. But if they're not aware of that threshold and they're just riding like they're trying to keep up with the guy in the front and he's going pretty fast, so they're pushing themselves and their reaction threshold's moving around, and all of a sudden, this is where danger starts to happen. When your operating zone gets close to your reaction threshold and it makes you react, and you can go down and you can die. So it was really important for me to understand the mechanics of this situation, which if we strip all the crap away, it comes down to awareness. And that awareness, the only thing, the most important thing that you can do to increase your awareness, meditation. Meditation. So that's what's at the core of my 3 habits stuff. Let's go back a second though. Let's go back to the to Won't You Be My Neighbor, that awesome documentary. For those of you that just joined, I highly recommend that you go back to the beginning of this and you watch this live when it's done. Tara and I went and watched the opening night, a movie on opening night of the Sundance Film Festival. It was pretty cool. It ended up being the movie where the governor and the director, and it was like an opening night thing. It was like a big event, and it was kind of cool to see that whole thing. I'll post a picture of us at that in a few minutes in the snow. It was so cool. But anyway, Mr. Rogers inspired me, and I want to share with you guys what's really kind of at the core of my motivation and stuff. And you can tell I'm a little nervous about it. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? So I'm throw me some hearts, throw me some love if you can out there. Hit the share button. That's the other incredibly big, important thing I'd love for you to do today, and start doing a lot. By the way, if you see this and you're watching this, every post you see from me, don't hit the like button. Well, hit the like button, but hit the share button too, please. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? We're working on building a business. We're working on spreading this thing on social media and all that good stuff. I'd really like, real quick, this is on my personal Facebook page, and I'm working on getting off my personal Facebook page as far as business. So do me a favor. I've sent you an invite, but go over there and click on that link and go like. Hi, Bob. I don't have time after. Just a second. If you could you go over there and click that link and like my public profile page? That's going to be where I start doing this kind of stuff in the future. Bob, I can't counsel after, but you know what? I will put a link right here where you can sign up on my Calendly and we can talk. Be sure and tell me why. What would you like to talk about? So, here's the scoop. Basically, my whole life, I've done things, everything from the U.S. Navy to Intel to TSMC to all these different companies, working a lot of different jobs. And you guys know that I've been a professional adult trainer for the majority of my life. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really excited about it. And I'm apparently really good at it. I'm feeling really good about that. But the whole time, I was always in somebody else's system. I was always in somebody else's can or somebody else's box. And I had to follow those rules. And I understand the rules. Don't get me wrong, man. I was in the Navy and I used to be an instructor in the Navy and I taught those rules, right? I mean, I'm operating a nuclear reactor. You got to have rules. There's no question about it. So I understand them and I respect them. But I'm also always worried about innovation. I'm always excited about moving forward. Hey, thank you, Joshua. Wait. Yeah, you made about the first page. Awesome, cool. Hi, Timothy. Joshua, yes. Send me an email, clay@enthusiasticclay.com. Timothy, this is all about kind of hanging out, having coffee with me, brother. It's called a Facebook Live. If you have questions, we can talk. So going back, I always struggled to survive in those boxes, in those systems. I always was fighting the system a little bit because I was always seeing, well, if we, this is how we do it. This is why we do it that way, right? These are the reasons behind this rule. And this is why we stay in this box. Sorry. But what if we move this part of the box that way a little bit? What if we made it just a little different? What if we improved it just a little bit? Can we do that? And it was always really hard to do that. That's why I love this internet stuff, is because I can freaking just change things like anytime I want to. And nobody can say anything except my clients. And if my clients don't like it, they go away, and that tells me really quick that it's not a good change. I guess I'm batting 1,000 on that though, because every time I change something, it gets better and better and better. Which brings us to freedom. Freedom. That's what it's about. Whether it's in a system like a job or a career, or whether it's building your business, or whether it's walking away from your business and going and surf, like one of my boys, Nigel. Right? Whether it's this personal freedom that we all desire. It's this ability to feel autonomous. That's what I've always been chasing. And I realize now that's what Get It Done 101, that's what the 3 habits, that's what the Get It Done Mastermind is all about. That's what I've been helping people do for the last 5, 20 years, 30 years, depending on how you look at it. I love helping people understand how to be free where they are with what they're doing. And maybe it's get free from where they are and move to something else. Maybe it's build a new business. Maybe it's build that dream business. I don't know. It depends. And that's what makes it challenging, because I've got so many different people that I've helped in so many different niches. Anyway, I've got about 10 more minutes here, and I kind of want to open this up. Joshua, I would love to be on your show sometime. I'm there, and I've got some really cool stories. We'll figure out what your show does and who your audience is, and I can crush it. But, I want to ask right now, who's watching still? I got like showing either 4 or 14 people online still. Do me a favor. Throw me some hearts. Throw me some loves. Hit the share button. Click that link in the description and go like my personal, my public profile page, because I'm going to slowly start weaning stuff into my business off my personal page. And I'm going to keep my personal page awesome stuff like that foot of snow that's sitting out there. God, it's beautiful. So real quick, who's got questions? Does anybody have any questions about Get It Done 101 and how this stuff connects to freedom. Because I'll tell you, man, it's realizing how society and how I've grown up and how everything that I've been through in my entire life has put me in this cup. And it's like, in that cup, if I'm down in that cup and all I see are the walls of my existence, the walls of what I've been conditioned to see, that's when things are very limiting. But if I can stand up or climb up the side of this cup and peek over to the other side and realize, you know what? Just because I'm afraid of going like moving into an RV and driving all over the country, just because I'm afraid of that and it's scary and it's not normal, it doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. It doesn't mean I can't do it. It doesn't mean there's any reason to stop doing it. Chase what you feel. Chase what you love. Chase what you're passionate about. Now, it doesn't mean abandon everything. Be true to yourself. I've got responsibilities. I've got family. I've got people that I love. I've got people that I care about. And I do everything I can to stay connected to them and stay in touch with them and all that good stuff. But I'm going to go live my life. I'm going to go have fun, man. I got one swing at this. Just a whole nother conversation, right? We can talk about that all day long. But yeah, no limit, Susie. I love it. No fear. You know, Susie, I'm going to jump on what you just said, Susie. No fear. That's not true, man. If you have no fear, you're a sociopath. You're a psychopath. Something's wrong with your brain. It goes back to what we were talking a few minutes ago about that survival reaction threshold. All right, Timothy. Yes, I love training. I'm not probably as, I don't know, maybe I am. I'm not as professionally trained in it as you are, but I love it too. That is an important point right there. Live your life. Live your life. I agree, Bob. But Susie, going back to Susie and no fear, you know, there's a very popular brand out there called No Fear. And I really hate it because I used to help these motorcycle riders, these young motorcycle riders, 19, 20, 22-year-old motorcycle riders. And they were bought into, this is another great example of this cup that I was talking about. They were bought into this brand that's out there, No Fear, be fearless, no fear. And they would go out there and do stupid things on a motorcycle on public roads because everybody else was really fast and they apparently had no fear. But the reality is that the experienced motorcycle riders had learned about that reaction threshold, and they learned how to be aware and operate. This is the motorcycle rider. This is the motorcycle rider's reaction threshold. They had learned how to operate in a place close to that threshold, but not above it, because they knew if they went above it, they would react and they could die. So you have to be aware of your fear. You have to understand what is going on with fear. And that brings us back to what I talk about all the time. Think, do not react, right? That reaction threshold, you have to maintain your ability to think, to be calm in the moment, to not be reactive, to not be jumpy and scared. And it's funny because the outward expressions of what I'm describing, like my favorite one is the spider web example. You're walking through the woods, or you're walking down a sidewalk, or you're going through your garage, and all of a sudden a spider web hits your face. You didn't see it, and you feel it, and your body immediately starts reacting, and you start doing the spider web dance, right? Well, that's like an outward example of this reaction. That's an example of it, but that's not the reaction that I've been helping people deal with lately. The reaction that I help people deal with, and specifically, you know what, let's be real. I've noticed and I've found that I help engineers, engineers that are building something else, not what they're trained to build, but they realize they have this ability to build, and they're trying to build other things that are going to impact the world. So I like to help these engineers, these technical people like Stratos, for example. Stratos is an IT engineer and an operations manager. He is a badass example of this person that I love to help. He's really, really smart, and he's built some amazing stuff. And now he's trying to build something outside that trained area of expertise. And now he's running into these walls. He wants to go build this thing, and he knows how to build stuff. He's had a successful career. He's done some amazing stuff in his life, and he wants to go build this other amazing thing because he understands that it'll help people a lot. So he starts building it, and all of a sudden, wall. These walls come out of nowhere, and they stop you cold. That is the reaction that I help people solve. That's the reaction that I help people understand. That is the reaction that I help people learn about with their threshold and how to operate safely below it, so that instead of hitting a wall, this thing that's hitting a wall, it helps them go. It boosts them. That's the basic premise of think, do not react. So it's like the spider web dance. It's a reaction, and this reaction may be, oh look, Facebook. Let me scroll Facebook. This reaction may be, okay, wait. I've got all these options. I could build a website. I could build an email funnel. I could build a landing page. I could use Kajabi. I could use ClickFunnels. I could use MailChimp. I could use ActiveCampaign. I could use Infusionsoft, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. All these options. Which one do I choose? Well, if you haven't made a decision and aren't moving down the path using one of those, at least, then guess what? You're reacting. You're stuck in the reaction. You're stuck in the spider web dance, and you're sitting here looking at all these options. You're procrastinating. You're holding yourself still. You're reacting. And that's what I help people remove. Okay, Susie, really? Okay, so Susie, you are an excellent example. Thank you so much for sharing that. Susie is apparently her dad was a professional racer or a professional rider, and she started riding when she was a kid. And she's talking about reaction should be automatic. Practice, it pays off, right? So let's talk about that real quick, and then I got to get off of here. Susie, that is a perfect example. I used to help motorcycle riders that were new, that were learning how to ride motorcycles as adults, because you are a very different creature than that person that's 30 years old or 20 years old and has never ridden a motorcycle. If you learned when you were a kid, then you learned the right reactions. I hope that makes sense. For example, I guarantee you'll relate to this, Susie. When in doubt, throttle out. So in other words, a very common, for everybody that doesn't ride a motorcycle out there, a very common way to get out of trouble, or anytime you have any doubt, anytime that you have a question on a motorcycle, you find yourself in a situation and you're like, 9 times out of 10, more like 99 out of 100 times, the right answer is put the gas on. Susie is a great example of someone that learned how to ride a motorcycle at a young age. She learned that intuitively. So it's part of her normal makeup. It's part of her normal, it's ingrained in her that when she's kind of like, I'm not sure what to, gas, you turn on the gas. On the other hand, the more normal of us, the people that didn't learn, and I did not learn as a kid, Susie, I learned when I was about 30. What my reaction is when I'm in doubt, when I'm worried about something, when I'm going around a turn and I see something that scares me, my first natural reaction is slow down, get away from it, and stare at it. And all 3 of those things are wrong on a motorcycle. So now we get into, and I can't remember who it was, Bob, I think it was Bob. We get into the educational dilemma. There's, and Susie, you said it a few seconds ago. You said that the right reactions, practice. Well, that's one thing to do, is to teach these new writers the right reaction, or teach these new online marketers the right reactions, or teach these people the right things to do when they hit that wall. And that's what I'm doing. But that's one path. In my experience, however, though, it's more vital that people realize when this wall is hit, or in the case of motorcycle riders, when they're operating up here, because it's ineffective to practice when you're scared. If you've ever thought about it, think about when you've learned, and there's always a little bit of pressure. There's always a little bit of stress and strain when you're learning something. I'm flashing back to the military. They like to put you under pressure and then teach you lessons. The reason is because under the right amount of pressure, it makes it better and easier for us to learn things. If you go and study it, and Bob, you could probably, or Timothy, I can't remember who it is that said they were educational specialists, but there's a perfect amount of stress that you can put yourself under that causes you to be able to learn better. Those of you that follow me and understand what's going on, you can call it the state of flow. And we can go down that path, and that's a whole nother discussion, but it can't be too much stress. If it's too much stress, you're not going to learn anything. So that's why it's really important that the first thing people learn is awareness of where you're operating relative to this reaction threshold. That way you can control and put yourself in the right place for optimal learning, or for optimal performance in whatever task you're doing. And that's literally, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, Susie, you're right. Hard becomes easy once you figure it out. So I'm gonna read some stuff here in a second, but I've got to get off of here. I've got a mastermind starting in a few minutes. I want to say a couple things real quick. Do me a favor, if you've enjoyed this and it's been helpful to you, please show me some love, give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up, give me some likes, and hit that share button. Share this in groups. Go share this in the coaching jungle. Go share this in a Facebook group that you're a member of, where people are struggling because they know what to do, but they're not getting it done. The most common thing people say to me, the thing that people say to me when I understand that I can help them, is straight up and simple. Hey, Clay, I know what I should be doing, but my family, debt, but the challenge of juggling multiple responsibilities, my job, my wife, my kids, my bills, all these things are stopping me from getting it done. But I know what I should be doing. So if you know anybody like that, let me rephrase that. Allow me to rephrase that last statement. I guarantee you know somebody like that. Please hit the share button. They're looking for the answers right now, and I might be able to tell it to them better than you can. All right, so that's one thing. The other thing is, where is it? Over there? Anyway, wherever it is, please click that link and go like my public profile page. And follow it. That's where the value is going to start coming. I'm going to work on getting just personal stuff on the personal page and professional stuff on the professional page slowly over time. I'm working on it, but I'm working on getting it there. And finally, I didn't even talk about my monthly membership. There's two things that I'd like to promote and talk about. One is the membership, the mastermind, the Get It Done mastermind that's coming up. If you're interested in understanding what I'm describing at a deeper level, joining a small group of people and going through some training so that you can consistently get it done. Basically, the goal is to get rid of any plateaus in your life, to shorten the plateaus so that you're constantly growing. That's the goal. That's the purpose of the Get It Done mastermind. If you're interested in that, send me a message and we'll talk. Stay in touch and all that good stuff. Do me a favor, again, one more time, hit the share button. Somebody in your world right now is looking for what we talked about today. All right. Exactly. Timothy Brown Sr., yes. those walls are coming from your subconscious. If there's any questions about that, we should talk and I can explain it to you. Those walls, your subconscious and your ego and the bad angel, it's going to always try to protect you, and it's going to constantly and consistently be putting those walls up every day. I mean, I can talk about that for hours. Anyway, yeah. Too much stress. Amen. Emotions. I love it, Stratos. Dylan, what's up? I hope you're still out there, brother. It's good to see you, man. Jeff, hey, do me a favor. Dylan, Jeff, all you guys, hit the share button, man. Go share this in public groups. Go share this in private groups. This is a really good conversation, just kind of chilling and talking about freedom, man. It's time to get free. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great weekend.